Hey guys, Mike from Nerd Problems Gaming here, and welcome to Nerd Problems Gaming, the channel where we go through the good and bad of everything nerdy to make sure you spend your time on the best of the best. In today's video, I'll be doing a review of River City Girls for the Switch. Is it worth it? Let's get into it. So, this game I would say is kind of like a spiritual successor or maybe a sequel, not exactly sure, to River City Ransom. And so that was one of my favorite NES games back in the day. And basically the gameplay is kind of like a beat 'em up, Double Dragons type style game. But it's also a combination of like an action RPG as well, which is really cool. And, like I said, this is really one of my favorite NES games. And, to have a sequel is really awesome. And so, the story follows Misako and Kyoko, basically two teenage girls in River City High School. And basically their boyfriends are kidnapped and they go on this kind of journey or quest to get them back and find out what happened to them, right? And so, the storyline is pretty fun. It's kind of like quirky anime style with it, right? So, Misako is basically a loose cannon, right? Explodes at anything, gets super mad all the time, punches anything that moves, right? And then Kyoko is kind of like the ditzy, absent-minded, passive-aggressive girl, right? And so it's pretty fun to be able to play that and kind of meet the different characters throughout the game. So they're kind of very heavily stereotyped anime, character models, right? So you've got like the hardcore, comic book nerd, you got the jocks, the preppy girls, right? And it kind of has like the high school dynamics with it too, which is pretty fun and pretty funny with it as well. And so that aspect is really fun. I really enjoy the story as you play. And then the gameplay, though, is really where this game shines. And so, like I said, it's actually, I would think one of my favorite beat 'em up games ever, playing that, because I just love the action RPG elements with it. And then, the gameplay, you go through kind of different areas throughout the school, throughout the town, and you're kind of fighting the crime that's going on there, kind of a very corrupt city where everything is taken over by different, gangs, and everybody just is trying to beat you up and take you out. And so, with that RPG element comes kind of like the level up mechanic. And so as you level up, you get new power-ups. So, your attack gets faster, your speed, you get more strength, all these cool things. You have kind of like an SP or like a special bar that increases, as you level up as well, which I really enjoy. And kind of another really neat feature with this game is there's all kinds of different shops. So as you're playing along, there's going to be different stores and you can go in there and they basically sell all kinds of different food. And so there's all kinds of varieties, right? You might go to like a candy shop, a sushi shop, a ramen store, right? All these different places. But what's neat is that when you buy this food and eat it, it restores your health, number one, or has kind of cool side effects. But on top of that, it also gives you like a permanent stat boost. So it's pretty addictive because you constantly want to get more money from beating people up and then buy this food to make your character stronger. But then you can also carry that stuff with you to heal yourself as you go. On top of that too, there's all kinds of different weapons that you'll pick up along the ground. So there's like whip change, baseball bats, yo-yos. You can pick up park benches and garbage cans. So it's pretty fun too to be able to pick up all these different items and use them on various enemies. And they all kind of have their own unique abilities and twists with them as well. Another cool aspect within the game is that they have these dojos where you can actually go and kind of buy super moves or new abilities for your character. So as you get more money, you're going to unlock these different things in the dojo. And so it just gives you kind of more super moves, more combinations that you can use when you're out there fighting all these different enemies, which is really fun. There's also a couple features where there's certain stores where they sell like accessories and then you can equip like 2 accessories at a time. And so depending on your play style, the different benefits of the accessories, kind of what you're looking for, you can mix and match those. And so that's another cool feature that you can have as well. Also, when you're fighting certain enemies, you actually have the opportunity to recruit them. So as you beat them up, a lot of them will sometimes beg for mercy, and then you can actually recruit them onto your team. And so it's kind of like a tag team almost, where you push the button and they jump in and they do a couple special moves, a couple attacks, and then you can kind of recruit a bunch of different people to join your team as you play, which is really fun. Another big aspect that I like is the real epic boss fights that you have in the game. And so, you know, as you play, you're going to run into different bosses, and each one has really cool, unique abilities and powers. And, you know, you're going to have to memorize their patterns, fight them very uniquely, right? And to be able to get past them. And one thing I really enjoyed is that these bosses are not pushovers. You know, I played kind of by myself in the one-player game, but then also played the two-player game with my girlfriend. And both times, both of the bosses, all of them that you fight, were a real tough challenge. And so I like that. They don't go easy on you in this game, whether you're playing on normal or hard. The bosses are a really tough challenge. And so that's enjoyable because it's really satisfying when you do actually beat them in the game. So there's a lot to explore in this game. You'll go, like I said, throughout the school, the city, different surrounding areas, and it's a pretty fun story to be able to go through and explore those different areas as you play. And on top of that, throughout your exploration, there's going to be a ton of different Easter eggs throughout this game as well, which I really like. So, you know, there's nods and throwbacks to the original River City Ransom on the NES. So like t-shirts hanging that you can buy in the store. Yeah, you can go to the arcade and you see the game being played, like all these different little Easter eggs throughout it. And, you know, the dojo is actually ran by like kind of washed up the Double Dragon characters. So that's kind of fun to see that. And then there's other aspects too, kind of by the makers of this game. So they made like Super Dodgeball for the NES. So, you know, there's a dodgeball court that you can find as you're playing throughout the game. And so that was pretty fun too, to be able to see those different aspects. Now, you know, like I said, I played a lot of the game on one player, but then also played the game two player, and that was a ton of fun too. I think I would really recommend playing it multiplayer. You still get a lot of enjoyment out of the single player mode, but it's just kind of a cool dynamic when you're playing with two players playing this game. So you can play it locally, you know, on your Switch, which is a lot of fun. And then throughout that too, whenever your character dies, like the other player can come and revive them by basically stomping their soul back into their body. So, you know, it's pretty fun to be able to do that. And like I said, that's not really available in the one player mode. So that kind of makes it a little bit more challenging because there's not really that opportunity for someone to come and save you as you're playing the game as well. But another really great thing about this game that I really enjoyed was the music. And so it's super upbeat. It just really pulls you in. You know, it's one of my favorite video game soundtracks, I would say. And so, you know, for me, I actually bought like the premium deluxe, like special edition, you know, physical copy of the game. So you can get this on like the eShop, but they also sell a physical copy as well. And the one I got came with the soundtrack. So that was kind of a cool bonus. But the music is really fun as you play this game as well. But overall, you know, definitely let me know in the comments below if you've played this game, if you like beat 'em ups like this, if you played the original River City Ransom, how you feel like it compares. But for me, you know, this is one of my favorite beat 'em up games, and I would highly recommend checking this game out. But again, guys, if you haven't done so yet, be sure to like this video. It really helps out the channel, and subscribe and turn on those bell notifications to get the latest updates of new nerd videos that we put out here. And then if you'd like to help us support the channel, pick videos and more, definitely consider becoming a patron of ours over at nerdproblemsgaming.com/Patreon. Again, that's nerdproblemsgaming.com/Patreon. And then if you'd like to plug into our live streams and our Let's Plays that we do over on Twitch, you can follow us there over at nerdproblemsgaming.com/Twitch. Again, that's nerdproblemsgaming.com/Twitch. But again, guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you more soon.